this is a bit different.
Yeah, it is a little. I was wanting to speak to you a bit about the song. We always talk about music, and we always talk about kind of outdoors and being in nature, and we talk a lot about poetry. And I guess in this song there's a little bit of spoken word by a guy called Heish Gout, who you had a bit of a relationship with and who I then learnt about. So can you talk a bit about that?
So Hamish's story is amazing, and BBC Alba did a film about it, which is fantastic to get the full story of it. But basically, Hamish and his wife kayaked to St Kilda in 1965, first people ever to do it. And it was an amazing story, and I really came across it by chance when I was researching all the people who'd paddled there, because it was one of my lifetime ambitions, which was to paddle to St Kilda, and I managed that with Murdy in 2000. But when I got in touch with Hamish, he was really out at the scene. He was a lot older. He was living on his own. It was he'd really lived beyond his memories, and he was really excited to tell somebody all about it. And I went to visit him in Drimmen. He stayed in Drimmen, and he just took great delight, and he just opened boxes of photographs and boxes of old cine film, and my eyes just lit up. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, so why did you want to put a bit of the spoken word into your song about Timeless? I mean, I was quite surprised that you used that. I knew you were into the story, but it was a great idea. But what made you do that?
Yeah, I think with Timeless, and sometimes with a lot of songs, you start off with an idea and then it kind of grows arms and legs, and that definitely happened with Timeless. Originally it was about Edinburgh being quite timeless, and then as I wrote the song, it kind of became more about my love for Scotland and the natural landscapes and seascapes of Scotland. And then that did kind of, I immediately thought of you, and I thought of Heish Gout, and I thought of these paintings that we have, and I think not paintings, photographs that we've got up on the wall, and it just shows the rugged landscapes of Scotland within that time before I was born, and I felt really inspired to put a little bit of that story into the song. Was that from St Kilda?
That's on the way across the side of Harris. That's in the sound of sleep, and that's going up towards Cape Wrath. Yeah, see the bottom, that island in the background, that's Egg. That you see that from Saturn and stuff like that.
I love that one. I remember I loved that as well, because it was called The Sound of Sleep, and that was one of the first tunes that I learned to play on the fiddle. Sound of Sleep, and then we played that, me, Anna and Alex, at the slideshow in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's great that I was obviously drawn to Hamish's stuff because he filmed fantastic cine film, which at that time, out in the sea and the water, was a really hard thing to do, and to show people back in the mainland all the stuff that he'd done. And he took loads and loads of slides. His slides are just incredible, very evocative. So there's something timeless about that, and I love all that, and that's why, I've got some of his photographs here, because they are timeless and they just take you back to that atmosphere. You know what it likes, you know what it's like, what it feels like, and you've got the atmosphere, isn't that? But that's kind of amazing that you're doing that through your music in a way, and a different art form. Is that how it feels for you?
I love that kind of intertwining of different art forms, and I guess it's amazing what I can draw inspiration from, and even looking at these photos is very inspirational and emotional, and it's like I don't think that'll ever lose that. As you say, the photos are also timeless, so I think putting that into my song was really important. And although what Hamish talks about in the song, he's not talking about the song because he died a few years ago, and I just did want to kind of have his story in there, and that kind of makes his story live on longer as well. The films that Hamish had, you've played a big part in taking them and getting them developed, and now have put them out on YouTube and Facebook for people to see, and it's amazing to still see them rolling out and seeing new ones. And the bit of spoken word I've got in the song, I asked you, I was like, can you send me these recordings? I think there was a few hours of recordings that I had to kind of sift through and get a good bit. And Hamish has a very distinguishable voice, and his voice just sounds really timeless, and I think having that on there plays a huge part in the feeling of the song and immersing people in that feeling of forever.
It's great that you've done that and you've taken that stuff, because it was such an emotional experience getting him to talk over the films that he filmed 4 years before, and then talk over it and narrate over it. And as you say, just an amazing voice and just full of that. And he's looking back at those amazing times that he had, describing them, talking about it as if he's there. So it was almost like you were with him on that journey. And now you've taken that and integrated it into your art as well, which is just an incredible thing to do. Really, really great idea. So yeah, I would never thought of that.